These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.
Hey, happy Sunday to you. I'm Amelia Fabiano with your top stories here from ABC15 Arizona. A major update in the plan to stop the Southwest from running dry. We first told you this week the federal government would announce plans for water cuts along Colorado River Basin states next year. And now we're getting our first look at that plan. Arizona, Nevada, and New Mexico will all see the same water cuts as we did this year. And that means Arizona will lose about 18% of its total Colorado River allocation again. Officials say Lake Mead is in the Tier 1 drought category, the same as in 2022. Meantime, the basin states and tribes are still negotiating how water will be shared long term because the current agreement runs through 2026. Clinical trials have started at the U of A for a possible valley fever vaccine. So valley fever is an infection of the lungs caused by a fungus that grows here in the soil in Arizona. The university will assist the National Institutes of Health with research, manufacturing, formulation, and safety testing. In 2022, there were 75 valley fever deaths in our state. ABC 15 checking back in on the effort to close the digital divide. Our state clearing the final hurdle to spend nearly $1 billion in federal funding to expand high-speed internet access. It's all part of President Biden's Internet for All initiative. The funding will be used for people living in rural and low-income areas.
He knew darn well what he was doing when he put that AK-47 in his hands. He knew what he was doing when he put bullets in that AK-47. He knew what he was doing when he aimed it at Brian, and he knew what he was doing when he pulled the trigger.
The family of Border Patrol agent Brian Terry now hoping for another conviction after one of the men accused of murdering Terry in 2010 had their conviction thrown out. The Court of Appeals saying Heraclio Osorio Arianes's constitutional due process rights have been violated. He was one of 7 men charged in the shooting of Terry that also uncovered the Fast and Furious scandal, something the ABC 15 investigators covered extensively, where American federal agents allowed guns to get into the hands of criminals. Looking ahead now to big changes coming to the Broadway curve area this week. You may remember I told you on Friday that if you use the westbound I-10 in that area, this will impact you. So listen up. Starting tomorrow, the Broadway Curve Improvement Project's new westbound Collector Distributor Road will open to drivers. It's along westbound 10 from Baseline to 40th Street. There will be signs overhead to help you find the right entrances and exits. Now, there are no traffic lights on the CD roads, and the speed limit will be 55 miles an hour. Pedestrians and bicyclists are not allowed on them either. The idea here is to reduce the need for vehicles to weave between lanes and help keep traffic flowing on the 10, State Route 143, and the 60.
Because those interchanges are located so close to each other, there's a lot of traffic lane changing and jockeying to get into position. So the purpose of the collector distributor roads is to separate the mainline traffic from the traffic that's just entering and exiting the Broadway curve area destination.
To get ready for this CD road to open, though, the westbound 10 is closed right now from the Loop 202 Santan South Mountain Freeway to the I-17 split. For ways to get around that today, head to abc15.com/traffic. All right, did this year's Final Four in Glendale give Arizona a slam dunk? Well, on Tuesday, we'll find out just how big of an economic impact it had on our state. It was projected that the Final Four would bring more than $300 million to the valley. Governor Katie Hobbs will be alongside tourism officials to reveal those numbers. You can count on us to be there as we watch this story closely. Let's get you a check of that most accurate forecast here as you go about the second half of the weekend. After a stormy start to the day and overnight into our Sunday morning, highs today will hit 110 at Phoenix, Sky Harbor, 90s for Prescott, Payson, and Sedona, 80s up towards Flagstaff and the Grand Canyon, upper 80s in Heber, Shiloh, and Window Rock, 109 to 110 out west towards Bullhead and Lake Havasu cities and Quartzsite. Overnight will drop down mostly into the 50s and 60s in the high country and north of the rim, 70s overnight in Page, Sedona, and Kingman, 60s for Prescott and Payson, and mid to upper 80s, low 90s out west along the Colorado River Valley as we head into our Monday. Tomorrow, though, the heat is on for parts of Maricopa County here shaded in this dark red, including all of the Phoenix metro. An excessive heat watch goes into effect tomorrow through Tuesday night. It will likely get upgraded to a warning later today, so we'll let you know when that does happen. Highs will hit 113 tomorrow at Sky Harbor, 114 Tuesday, so we're in weather action mode. Wednesday, though, temps will back off and storms are back. All right, for the latest headlines, weather, and traffic, head to abc15.com or download that free ABC15 mobile app. Have a great day.
These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.